Darling, why does your cologne smell different this morning? Hmm? Hmm. You came home smelling like that cologne I said makes you smell like a teenage boy's gym locker. You remember the one I explicitly told you to throw out? So either you're being deliberately spiteful, or perhaps you've got a head cold that somehow makes that smell good to you. What is it? Ah, goodness, I forget my manners. I'm being rude again. So, let's change the subject, shall we? Yes. Why don't we talk about how you didn't come home until 4 a.m.? Hmm? Or we could talk about how your car pulled into the driveway with another car following it. I saw everything, darling. This house may be my prison, but the windows were perfectly fine. Still nothing to say. Mm-hmm. Well, then let's not talk about your late-night rendezvous just yet. You asked me how Halloween was, didn't you? How very thoughtful of you, really. So very considerate to check in on the dead woman who spent the entire evening alone while you were at some party that I wasn't even invited to. Not that I could have gone, but it would have been polite to have been invited. So yes, let me tell you about Halloween. Let me tell you about the parade of costumed atrocities that darkened our doorstep last night, yes? Let's see. The evening started out at dusk when the Henderson twins arrived dressed in characters from that video game. Was it Fortnite? Huh. Ugh. They looked like they'd been dressed by some colorblind person in the dark. They had neon colors that clashed so violently I'm surprised they didn't cause retinal damage. And their parents had complimentary costumes as well, if complimentary is the word that you could use. He was a hot dog, but not a whimsical Andy Warhol-esque commentary on consumerism. No, 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 no. No. He was a hot dog, and she was a bun. Is this really what we've devolved to? Where vulgar innuendo counts as a costume? Of course, then came the wave of sexy everything. Sexy nurse, sexy firefighter, sexy, I don't know, generic office worker number 3, I think. I think that's what she was. She had a pocket protector for pens, and she was wearing a pencil skirt. It was really more of a pencil belt and a pair of glasses, so I'm not sure. Maybe a gender-bending, sexy Clark Kent. Whatever she was wearing a costume that would make a burlesque dancer blush. Though there was this one girl. Oh, she was fabulous, dressed as Ophelia from Hamlet. She had flowers in her hair that was sprayed and fanned out to look like she was floating in the water, drowning in her last moments. She had a tea-stained dress and Shakespearean quotes written all up her arms. Oh, I wanted to tell her that she was brilliant. But of course I couldn't. What with being dead and all. Then around 7:30, the party across the street started. A couple arrived dressed as Gomez and Morticia Adams. Mid-20s or so, and they really committed to it. He had a rose and the proper hair, and when they thought no one was watching, he kissed her hand with this look of absolute devotion. She looked at him like he'd hung the moon. I watched them as they walked away, his arm around her waist, her head on his shoulder. And I thought about us. About how we can't do that, can we? I rest my head on your shoulder, pass right through. You can't really put your arm around me because I'm not really here. Not in any way that matters. Do you remember last Halloween? You went to that costume party and I stayed here, alone, watching the kids come along and take out that candy that you'd left. When you came home at midnight, you were full of cheap beer, smelling like someone's perfume. You showed me a photo. You were wearing the Han Solo costume. You looked good. You always looked good. And then there was that woman dressed as Princess Leia with her arm around you. You said that she was just a coworker. You said it didn't mean anything. And I believed you, because I had to. We hadn't defined anything yet. Didn't quite know what we were to each other, but I still had to. But this year, darling, this year, you weren't going to any parties, were you? Now, you said that you would stay home, pass out candy. You promised. And then along comes 6 o'clock, and you come downstairs dressed as Mr. Darcy, very Pride and Prejudice, very literary, very sophisticated, and you say you've got to just make a quick appearance at your boss's house. Just a quick appearance. Until 4 a.m. Just a little 10-hour quick appearance. While I was here, unable to leave, watching as people kept coming and going. The Incredibles family, and then the elderly couple who were dressed as a salt and pepper shaker and holding each other's hands. Single father with a little fairy-winged daughter that he adored. And me. Just watching. Everyone had someone. Everyone was solid and real and together. And here I was, alone, watching like some Victorian ghost in a Gothic novel. A woman stopped by a few hours after you left. She was dressed as Phantom of the Opera, gender-bending Phantom of the Opera. Looked fabulous, really. Spot on, real cape, real mask. Properly done. But she wasn't trick-or-treating. No. She came for you. She stood on our porch for almost 10 minutes, ringing the doorbell. And then eventually she called a friend of hers and said that you told her to stop by after the party. Said that you told her you lived alone. Wouldn't mind the company. You told her you live alone. Well, I suppose it's true. You do live alone. After all, it's not as if I'm living. You wouldn't mind the company. Eventually she left, but not before tucking a note under the door with her phone number on it. There it is. Shall I tell you what it says? I have it memorized. Had a great time talking with you tonight. Would love to continue our conversation over coffee. You're even more interesting than your costume suggests. Call me Molly. So, here is my question to you. Here is the core issue we need to address right now. This morning, while you're still wearing the wrong cologne and me still being dead, and both of us pretending that this is somehow going to work. What I need to know is, uh, are you leaving me? Is that why you told her that you live alone? Because technically you do, don't you? I'm not exactly alive. I don't take up any space in any real sense. I'm just here taking up emotional space. I'm just here being complicated for you. Do you know what the worst costume was tonight? It was a teenager in a white sheet with eye holes. Just the most cliché, lazy excuse for a costume. And his friends called him dead boring, as if that made it clever. Just puns. It was dehumanizing. If I could still be called human at this point, can I be human? It was demeaning, if not dehumanizing, reductive, degrading. It was humiliating. My very existence turned into a joke. Something you wear once a year and then shove in the back of the closet. But certainly not something real. And is that what I am to you? Something not real. Something you put on to play pretend and then take off when it's time to go back to your real world. You know, I did have one person acknowledge me last night. Little boy, dressed as Vincent van Gogh. Red beard, straw hat, wooden easel. I tell you, he looked right at me, right where I was standing, and said, "Are you a ghost?" I couldn't even answer, I was so surprised. But then he smiled and said, "That's all right. Vincent van Gogh believed in ghosts. He believed in lots of things people couldn't see." He even pronounced it correctly, not Van Gogh. He said Van Gogh. Sweet thing. And then he left a piece of candy on the porch for me. The little child left me some candy. And I just looked at that little piece of chocolate and I wept. Because that little boy, that small child, had acknowledged me and stayed there with me and talked to me for just a moment. When you were supposed to be here, you were supposed to be the one who is here with me and talking to me and seeing me. So, let's talk about your costume now, shall we, Mr. Darcy? Tell me, did you tell people that I helped you choose it? Did you tell them that we spent 3 evenings discussing which version of Darcy to emulate? Did you tell people how I taught you how to tie a cravat? Or did you just let them think that you came up with it? Actually, let me guess. You said, "Oh, I just threw something together." Hmm? Were you self-deprecating? Were you charming? And when Molly complimented your historical accuracy, did you say, "My girlfriend helped me"? You didn't. You didn't say girlfriend at all, did you? Because I don't exist outside these walls. Here's what I think happened. I think you went to that party and had a wonderful time. You talked to people without explaining about me, without saying, "I live with a ghost," without the looks, the questions, the judgment. For one night, you got to be normal. You got to go and flirt with living people, make living plans for living futures. And I think it felt good. I think I think you were relieved to step out of it for just an evening. I think that you thought about how easy it would be if you just let me go, if you just moved out, if you just started over without without a judgmental dead woman critiquing everything. Am I wrong? Say something, please. Just have the decency to tell me if you are going to leave me. I will understand. I will. I don't want to be your secret. I don't want to be your complication, but I also don't want you to suffer for loving me. I don't want you to be alone at parties because you're tied to someone who can't hold your hand. I love you. I love you in a way that transcends death. But clearly that love isn't enough, is it? Love doesn't make me solid. It doesn't make this work. So if you need to move on, I will understand. I won't like it. They'll probably haunt you forever with passive-aggressive comments. But I'll understand. Or you could tell me that I'm wrong. You know. You could tell me that the cologne was an accident and that you do want this. You could tell me that loving a ghost isn't just like a costume you wear once a year, that it's real. You could tell me that when you're at parties, you still think about me. That you still choose me even though I'm dead and difficult and I make everything complicated. So, tell me. What? Don't come over here if you're not going to just tell me. Just please don't come closer. Honestly, if you walk through me right now, I will. What? You touched me. I can feel that. When do you, what, when did you learn to, oh, darling, do it again. Oh, oh, darling, that was extraordinary. How did you do that? What? They were what? You did not. Well, no, of course I would have objected if you brought paranormal investigators to the house. Is that what that woman was? That that Molly, the paranormal investigator, was... Don't tell me you found someone who is actually real. That... All right, yes, I do understand the irony of a ghost saying that a paranormal investigator isn't real, but you and I both know if that Molly was a paranormal investigator who actually saw ghosts, then she is by far the exception to the rule. Most of them are just frauds. Oh, she was a fraud. All right. I am scratching my head over this. Oh, I see. You found someone who could really help you after you'd met her. And they brought you somewhere else to show you how to make contact. Oh, darling, that was dangerous. Oh, no, you should never let people take you to a separate location. A lot of monsters in this world. Could have been... Oh. Oh, so is that why she brought you somewhere else? To introduce you to her ghost husband? Oh, that's sweet. And they showed you how to... Oh, darling. You beautiful, ridiculous, persistent... Well, fool for going with a stranger to a second location, but also... You lovely, lovely human. Not leaving me. I'm trying to find a way for us to be together. All right, well, I find that I am in the awkward position where I owe you an apology. I'm usually right about so very many things that, I was jealous and feeling abandoned, and I may have overreacted slightly. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Touch me again. Please. Oh, I felt like living. I want to feel it again. Feel alive, just... like that. Even if it's only through you. I think that's pretty perfect. Oh, look at that. You are my life. Quite literally. I couldn't be happier about it. Happy Halloween, darling. Hey there, Cupcakes. Thank you all so very much for sticking with me for yet another story. If you like this character, of course, she's going to be featured in a spicy episode over on my Patreon. And I would like to, while I'm speaking of it, thank you to my newest patrons, Lucas Platts, Luigi Stories, Indigo, Nightwall86, The Legend Ranger, Axel Brett, and Mr. Z. And I hope that you will thank all of the people who are going to be scrolling across the screen for being so very good to me to make it so that I can continue to do this every week. And I'm so grateful to you all. And everyone for your likes, for your shares, for your subscriptions, for all the things you do for me. I hope that you will be as good to yourselves as you are to me. And I will talk to you soon. And Cupcake says, hi. He wasn't laughing at me at all. He didn't laugh at me. He may be laughing at me.